What's the dumbest thing you were paid to do and how much were you paid?
$175 to do some kind of user study at Netflix. I show up in the lobby and then they go, "Actually, we got the data we needed from the studies earlier today, you're free to go." Still got paid.
I signed up for a medical study. They did a physical and had me do an at-home sleep study to check eligibility. They paid me $150 for doing this part. They called after and asked me if I knew I had sleep apnea. I had no clue. I wasn't eligible for the rest of the study because of it. So I got paid $150 to get diagnosed with sleep apnea. Obligatory edit. Thanks for the awards, kind strangers. I'm cracking up that my highest rated comment is this random event in my life.
Got paid $40,000 to not show up at work. It was the financial crisis and there was a hiring freeze right before I was due to start work. The company I was to work for couldn't honor the employment contract we signed, but it was all very sudden and my would-be bosses felt bad enough about the situation that they offered me half a year's salary as a gesture of goodwill.
I'm a hobbyist's wood turner. It's more of a passion. Once as a joke, early into my hobby, I made a wooden butt plug and posted on my Instagram, again, as a joke. I immediately had an acquaintance message me asking if I could make her one that was obviously safe for the human body and various other business that such an item would interact with. So I did. Totally safe for the human body. She paid me well for it. Later, her followers were messaging me asking I could make them some. And now, that's something I do often. Edit. Okay, so this has entirely blown up overnight. Very encouraging to start an Etsy store. So I guess I'll be in the works for that tonight after work. Thank you all so much the love and support. If you haven't tips on an Etsy store, please let me know. I'm kinda jumping into this really blind. Also, here's a picture of a plug I made when I first started out.
I tutored for the 21-year-old daughter of a wealthy family and charged around $65 an hour. I warned in advance that I still charged for cancellations if there was less than 24 hours notice, but she would regularly arrange 6-hour sessions or longer, then cancel on the day. I told them and let them off the charge the first few times, but nothing changed, so I thought, beep it, person shrugging. For 6 months or so, I was probably making an extra $400 on average per week just for cancellations.
When I was like 20, got hired to be an assistant for some event in Hollywood. I carried 1 box of liquor into the place and they gave me a walkie-talkie and said they'd let me know when they needed me for anything else. Waited a while with no calls and found that next door they were holding a yoga class for AA members. Poked my head in the door, and they invited me to join them, so I did. After the yoga, I went to return the walkie-talkie and the guy says, "Oh, we didn't use you at all, did we?" Got $60.
I was paid $50 to assemble some brand new gym equipment for a friend because her husband had been dragging his feet for months. I opened up the box, pulled it out, and made the easiest $50 of my life because it was pre-assembled. I just took 10 seconds to unfold it and was done. She was furious with her husband, and still paid me to spite him. Edit. Dang, this blew up. Alright, time to answer the question on everyone's mind. Why didn't she do it herself? She was in her 50s and had a bad back. It was one of those inverted back stretcher things to help relieve pain. The husband was 100% the bad guy in this case.
I was paid to be a kind of server for a fancy outdoor dinner party. They wanted me to go around with a plate of drinks and food and offer it to people. When I get there, they tell me the person they hired to cook on the grill never showed, so they wanted me to make that my priority. But I told them I didn't know how to grill anything. I was 17. The woman told me to look helpless and some man would come do it. Every man thinks he's the grill master and wants to show off. So I did, and it worked. I basically got paid to stand next to this guy and thank him every so often, and get him drinks. I got paid over $100 for just a few hours. It was pretty awesome.
My friend asked me to clean out his guinea pig cage because he couldn't be bothered that day. In payment, he gave me his copy of Zoo Tycoon 2 for PC. Edit. Thank you very much for the awards.
Hang a TV. Then make sure that TV worked the following day and then take the TV down the day after. Made $1,000.
I used to work for a PR agency. Every month one of our clients wanted a handful of photos resized for their website. Nothing fancy, just setting the width to 500px in Windows Photo Manager. It was maybe 10 minutes of work every month, but the contract said the minimum amount of time we would charge them for was 1 day, and this was for the full team too, not just me. It must have cost them several £100 every month. I showed the client how to do it several times, and explained that they could save a lot of money doing it themselves. They didn't seem to mind. In the end, I made sure I got it in writing that I'd informed them of their options and let them get on with it.
I was paid $300 to move my car for a movie that was filming by my apartment.
I was flown to Paris to do a compliance audit. The systems weren't set up for the audit, couldn't get access, so spent the week being taken to restaurants and shopping. On one of the days and at the last minute, the company decided to send me into London for a meeting, literally just to meet people. I missed the Eurostar because I forgot my passport, totally blanked that I was entering another country. They had to rebook the Eurostar. Nothing was achieved out of this trip. No audit was completed. Nothing came of the meeting. The cost to the company $25K++ for me to do nothing for a week. Corporate money is ridiculous money.
Rich family paid me $500, minimum, a night to babysit their 8-year-old son. I was about 18, certified for child CPR, first aid, and grew up watching my nephews from a young age. I never set a price, just told them to pay me what they thought was fair. The kid was very polite and basically a young adult. I'm not sure if he took etiquette classes or something, but his face lit up when we played Pretend Ninjas for the first time. He slayed 3 of them in one slash, haha. I was also there for his first skin knee, and he took it like a champ. Just kept saying, "Oh man," called fractured 7, it hurts a lot. But wound up extremely proud of it. One night they called abruptly to have me come sit, paid me in advance, then left $300 for pizza or whatever, you can keep the change, too. Then took off for 3 hours. They wanted him in bed an hour after they left, but I gave him 2.5 to play DK Country. Overall, dumb, but such good money. 10/10 would babysit again, haha. Male babysitters have it rough, though. It got a lot of weird looks. Edit, wow, did this blow up? I wasn't expecting this. I should edit dumb on account of how easy it was, not to mention fun. Thank you for the awards, you're too kind.
I rented my chicken to a photographer for $50.
Got paid $300 to shovel my neighbor's front steps and driveway while she was away on vacation all winter. It did not even flurry once.
I'm a therapist and I often respond to the sights of things like bank robberies or accidents. When you see on the news that crisis counselors are on site, that's me. Sometimes it can be intense psychological first aid, but it's often sitting around waiting for someone who wants to come talk. Sometimes I'm just there so the PR people can say that services are available. This is especially true with industrial accidents and layoffs. I get paid significantly more for these types of assignments, sometimes as much as $70 per hour, and the clock starts when I leave my home to travel to the site. I've had multiple days spent riding my motorcycle to the site, reading a book for 8 hours and riding home and never speaking to a single person. $500 in my pocket for the day.
Earned €700 monthly for an internship which consisted of me sitting around all day, waiting for work which wouldn't come because the company beep up the internship offer and accidentally hired someone they didn't need at all. So basically I was being paid to take the train in the morning and then back in the evening.
25 years ago, and in Indiana, the law was that in order to operate a nail salon, someone there must hold a full cosmetology license, not just a nail technician license. A nail salon opened next to the hair salon I worked at, and they all held nail technician licenses, and the one who held a cosmetology license would be delayed in Korea for a week for whatever reason. At 18 years old, I was paid $25 an hour merely to sit in the nail salon as the holder of the license. I answered no phones, tended to no clients, did nothing but paint my own nails repeatedly and watch TV for an entire week. Was a sweet, sweet gig.
Had a WFH gig working sort of as a personal assistant for a rich guy on the opposite coast from me. I did all kinds of wacky beep for him. For example, one time I had to break up with my boss's girlfriend because he was too wimpy to do it himself. RLY, weird beep like that was literally my job. One day, I bought him a new pickup truck. Meaning, I negotiated the deal and paid for the truck with his credit card. All in all, I'd say the process probably took about 2 weeks, for which I was paid my usual wage at 6 hours per day. No big deal, Somehow, his dad found out about the new truck and he decided he wanted a new pickup truck too. He called me about a week after I bought the truck for my boss and said he'd pay me $2,000 to buy a truck for him. I called the same dealership back, spoke to the same salesman, told him what was up and basically said give me another truck, same price as before. The salesman was only too happy to comply. It took 10 minutes to make the phone call and then a day or two to get the title and other paperwork sorted out. So, depending on how you look at it, I made $2,000 for just 10 minutes worth of work. Somehow, my boss's rich friend found out about all this. He decided he wanted a new SUV. Oh yeah, throw it away, you have to buy it for me. I told him the last time I bought someone a vehicle, I got paid $2,000. The friend was basically like beep it, I'll pay you $3,000, just get it for me, and then he emailed me his wish list. That deal took a little longer, maybe 2 weeks. I made $5,000 extra in just 2 months buying vehicles for lazy, or dumb, rich people. Edit holy beep, I was trying to vent a little bit here. But this comment RLY blew up. Look below for a follow-up reply from me because some of you were curious about this job. Thanks for the award.
I was told to retrieve a school chicken sandwich from the cafeteria. I was paid $10 for my vigorous labor. Edit, this is the first time I've gotten more than like 10 upvotes lol. I'm glad people like my chicken sandwich story enough to give me gifts. Thank you kind strangers.
I got asked to do 2 hours of barrier watch, guarding a barrier ribbon while a crew did x-rays inside a power plant. This was asked last minute after a 12-hour shift, so the bonuses of staying happening to be a Sunday, etc. I was being paid $110 to stand and play on my phone and make sure nobody tried to pass all the do not enter danger signs during a time of day with minimal personnel.
Okay, this wasn't a job or anything. But I got $10 to eat half a watermelon.
When I was younger, my geography teacher realized I was the only one paying attention. Second last class on a Friday, most people were antsy. So he stopped in the middle of his lecture once and said, I'll give all the change in my pockets to anyone who can repeat back to me what I've been saying this past minute. He tried a few of my other classmates for fun, but the most they could guess was the general topic. He got to me and I was able to recite what he was talking about, and he gave me all his change. I got paid enough money for a carton of chocolate milk and a scone for paying attention.
I am currently being paid to be an engineer for $55K and I have no beep idea what I'm doing.
$1,325. The guy wanted a drawing of his pony having sex with a bunch of balloons shaped like various cartoon characters in a massive collage. My rate charges per character per fetish, and he came to me fully prepared to dump $1,500 on the complete commission after adding it all up himself. I gave him a discount since even I felt like it was insanity. I probably should have charged the full amount since it did end up taking me 2 weeks to do on and off just from burnout at drawing the same style balloon over and over just in different shapes, but that was definitely the most silly, dumb commission I've ever had, or at least the most I've been commissioned for something dumb, silly.
Some 20-something years ago, I was 16 and working for a startup pizza place. The owners had no idea what they were doing in the beginning, they just wanted to sell pizzas. Went on to become a major chain, making the owners pretty wealthy. This takes place in Europe. So, I delivered pizza. There was a fee of the equivalent of $4 for each pizza, plus tips. Well, there was a lot of demand, and it was a small place, so you could deliver multiple pizzas within a 15-minute period. So, on busy nights I could make $50 an hour. Sometimes more. After a year or so, the owners figured that the delivery boys were making more money than them, and changed it to $10 an hour, which is not bad, but most of us quit anyways. Still to this day one of the better paying jobs I have ever had.
Not me, but I work at a gas station and a lady paid a couple kids $20 to just go in and prepay her gas for her. It was like a minute walk and she paid these kids $20 for it. Like damn, I would have done it for free.
A classmate of mine paid me to watch her sleep to make sure she wasn't sleeping, weird, drooling, mouth open, constant moving, etc. Because she was moving in with her girlfriend. I got paid $75, it was worth it.
I was once paid $50 to kick a guy in the nuts.
This happens to me a lot. I do computer stuff on the side and I charge $150.00 per hour. One time someone wanted me to make all their cables under their desk all pretty since they saw my job on their server rack. I was like, you do realize you are going to pay me $150 an hour to do this, and they said, just do it. Easy money.
I did an event for a National Association for Deaf People at which they did every presentation in ASL. I'm an audio engineer who specializes in live sound and concerts. I did nothing for 5 days of show, $450 a day.
Not me, but my friend ate a whole rose, thorns and all, for $5.
Babysitting get paid for sitting around while child watches movie.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.